Good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm with the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's career topic, the overlooked value of technical school certificates and associate degrees with Universal Technical Institute. UTI, as they're known by, is this country's leading provider of high-quality career-focused education at 13 campuses nationwide. UTI is also a 20-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 16,000 enrolling Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation and our scholarship programs for your seniors to our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains the leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation, again, is Universal Technical Institute, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming audit technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with an extensive K-12 background, so you're in great hands today. But before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum with question and answers at the end of the presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, I'll present any questions offered by the participants, and we'll address as many questions as possible and provide written responses and follow-up emails if necessary. We'll have a hard close at 2:30 p.m. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Lee, and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much for spending a small portion of your afternoon with me. Let's get right into what we're going to do today. We're going to start off just briefly talking about UTI. We are the leading provider of technicians in the automotive industry or the transportation industry. We have 14 campuses nationwide. We have 2 new campuses that are going to be opening very soon, Austin, Texas, and then our campus in Miramar down by Miami, Florida. So we're excited. We already have campuses in Orlando, so we'll have them in South Florida as well. The national presence is very important because when our students are looking for their career, the start of their career, having that nationwide presence gives them huge flexibility on where they can start their career at. You'd be hard pressed to walk into a dealership and say UTI and they wouldn't know who we are. We teach in 8 different STEM categories: auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, and welding. Now you might look at that and say, well, we got to fit into one of those spots. Well, there are literally hundreds of careers within those 8. For instance, a student says, well, I love cars. I love being around cars, but I really don't want to turn wrenches. Is there anything I could do to be in the auto industry? Absolutely. You could be a claims adjuster for an insurance company. You could be a service writer for a dealership. You know, that's the person you see when you first walk in the door. So there's lots of opportunities within this field. A collision repair, somebody that's very artistic. You know, there's a niche right there for them. And, because people fix up their cars, they do pinstriping, they paint the hoods and things like that. So there's lots of opportunities for careers in the transportation industry besides just turning a wrench. We have over 35 alliances with manufacturers. These, as I say, are the big dogs in the industry: Ford, GM, BMW, Porsche, Toyota, all these companies we work with closely. These companies are starved for technicians. They need technicians badly. And so they work closely with us as we prepare students for their careers to go to work for these companies. As I often say, we're not preparing students for Jiffy Lube. We're preparing students to go to work for these companies because they are strong, stable companies. They offer a lot of benefits. They offer great pay. And it's just a great partnership that we have with these manufacturers. But what I really want to talk about today is you and dealing with students, dealing with parents, and dealing with where we are today in the economy. You know, we talk a lot about education after high school, and to succeed in the modern economy, you know, you need skills, no doubt about it. Unfortunately, what we keep looking at is we keep pitting technical skills against general education application skills, the hard skills versus the soft skills. We think, well, you got to be one or the other. Well, in reality, you got to be both. I mean, our economy is demanding skilled trades. We have a 3.5 trillion infrastructure package looming out there, and who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do all this work? We don't have the skilled trades. You know it if you own a house, a car, a washing machine, doesn't matter. You try to get somebody to work on your equipment, let alone somebody who's qualified, it's hard to find. So those specific skills are necessary, but we also need those general education application skills, the people skills, as I love to call it. The ability to communicate either verbally or through written communication. Those are important. And that's an art that's kind of lost. You know, we don't even teach penmanship any longer. You know, we text and all those things, but those are important. You know, it's one thing to work on a car, but then you've got to communicate with that customer. Hey, here's what's wrong with your car. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it. You know, so that you can understand how much it's going to cost, all those things. So these two actually go hand in hand. It is important that students get some kind of training, you know, after high school. Here's a statistic that may surprise several of you, is that your students may be telling you, yeah, I'm going off to college, or I'm going off to the university, or wherever that case may be. But what you don't realize is that the majority of them are looking for certificate and associate degree programs. Nearly all certificate programs, 94% to be exact, and 3 out of 5 associate degrees are awarded in career-oriented fields. They're not getting a bachelor's degree. They're not getting a master's degree. They're getting competency-based credentials. They're getting skills, because that's what the economy is looking for. You know, 70% of the jobs that are available out there right now, you know, only require this type of education. So please know that your students, although you might think that they're trotting off to the college or university to get that bachelor's degree, in reality are not. And along the same lines, about 50% of students taking undergraduate coursework are enrolled in certificate and associate degree programs. That's a statistic through Georgetown University Center on Education, and it's true. They're students today, and you know this already. They're now people. They're in the present. You know, they're not patient people. You know, they text. You don't text back. They're done with you. You know, okay. They don't want to go to school 4, 5, or 6 years. Some do, but some don't. They want to get in, get out, get hired, and start making money. That's really what they're all about. They don't see the need. You know, this generation, they're very in tune to student loan debt. They don't want to take that on. So they want to get into a program where they can learn a skill, get out into the world, and not have to spend a lot of money to do it, and get a good ROI on that education that they chose, that career pathway that they chose. The other thing that I would submit to you is, when you're looking at a technical certificate program that many schools offer, see if they offer these 3 things: industry relationships, occupationally focused curriculum, and employment assistance. I'll go back at earlier in the presentation. I showed you our 37 alliances with manufacturers. That's our industry relationships that we have. That's vital, because it's so important that industry and education partner with each other. I'm so excited because next week I'm going to be in Indianapolis, Indiana for the National FFA convention, and we're going to be partnering there with Agco Corporation and Fendt Tractors. But it's a perfect example where students can see the benefits of education and industry marrying. That's very important. The second part, occupationally focused curriculum. The students that are attracted to these programs, they don't want to take 20th century literature, world literature. They don't want to take Greek mythology. They don't want to take those courses. They want to learn a specific trade or skill. And that's where occupationally focused curriculum is important. And I'm not saying those other subjects are not important, but these particular students, it's not important to them or where they're headed. And then the third part is employment assistance. We at UTI feel like we're not done until we've actually helped get the student placed into their chosen career. That's important. That's why they went to school in the first place, to get that. Think of the number of students that are out there right now that went to school thinking they were getting into their career. And in reality, they're not. They came up short. They couldn't find, there was no openings, there was no demand. So these three things go hand in hand. And remember, they go hand in hand with each other. For instance, employment assistance and industry relationships, huge. If you don't have those industry partnerships, then you don't have that employment assistance to the strength that you needed. So when you're looking for technical certificate programs, make sure you're looking for all three of these when you're looking. I'm going to shift gears here and talk about women in STEM. We are so excited because we have partnered with Ignite Worldwide. If you have not heard of them, Ignite is an acronym, Inspiring Girls Now in Technology Evolution. What we're trying to do here at UTI and other schools and other companies and corporations are trying to do the same thing, is trying to attract more women into STEM-related fields. Here at UTI, about 4% of our population is female. We want to change that. There's great opportunities for females in great career pathways. They can make good money and doing what they love to do, but many of them don't know if they love it or not because they've never tried it. And so Ignite and UTI are partnering to make that more viable for young women. Their mantra, I love it. You can't be what you can't see. Think about it yourselves, wherever you live. When's the last time you saw a female welder, a female plumber, a female auto or diesel technician, a female in one of the road crews, when they're fixing the roads and doing some construction like that, female carpenter? When's the last time you saw one? And when you do see one, it's like it's a novelty, like, oh gosh, they got a woman working for them. Wow. It shouldn't be like that. These women can do this stuff too. They've just never been given the opportunity. And that's what we want to do, is give them that opportunity to show them, what is available to them out there. And really the program, it started in 1998 with Kathy Rajveller. She is the CEO and founder, trying to get more females, into the STEM careers that are out there. And so we seize this opportunity as a great way to partner and help make that happen. So it's really 4 parts. Part 1 is we form panels. We just held one of these last week at our Mooresville, North Carolina campus, where we have NASCAR Tech. Had over 100 girls there. And we composed a panel of women in STEM. These are women who've been very successful, so that these girls can look up to them, ask them, questions. Like I said before, you can't be what you can't see. So who are they able to ask questions to? So we're providing that panel so that they can ask questions, find out how they got there, what were the obstacles they had to overcome. Then the second part, field trips. Show girls what's out there. We bring them to our campus so they can see what a true STEM school looks like, to see, how we train technicians, what they're going to learn, to see if they might be interested. The third part, workshops. We got to get girls involved, show them, maybe they've never welded before. So how are they going to know if they like it or not? Let's say try it. So we have welding simulators so they can get on there and they can try their hand. We even do this with counselors. When we bring school counselors into our campuses for LDIs or professional development of some type, we we always have a STEM activity for them to do. I mean, I've hosted myself where I've had them doing welding, and I mean, a few of the counselors were really good at it. I asked them if they ever thought about a career change because they scored very well. And then the fourth part is simply getting them to conferences where they can interact with other women, where they can go to breakout sessions and talk about, hey, you know, I think I'd love to be a welder, but I just don't know how to go about it. What should I do first? What should I take some in high school? You know, is everybody going to make fun of me? I mean, all these kind of questions. And so what we want to do is try to make STEM real for the females and show them that, hey, this is out there for you too. And the demand is definitely there. So why not get involved? Ignite Worldwide is award winning. National Science Foundation is behind them. The Anita Borg Social Impact Award, the Department of Education, all these are behind them. So we're very proud to partner with them and help them to make this a reality. Interesting study and this is what really caught our eye at UTI, is that Kathy shared this with us. In the Seattle area schools in 2013, there was less than 5% female participation in STEM. 3 years later, that jumped to over 50%. It's surprising, but yet it isn't. You know, surprising to think it jumped that much, but you know, when you show girls what's available to them, you don't know what you don't know. And so they never had the opportunity to do some of these skilled trades before. And so when we gave them the opportunity, they found out, hey, I love this. This is what I want to do. So we're hoping this is what's going to happen with you at UTI, is that we're going to get a exponential increase in the number of female students that want to go into auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, and welding, and other areas as well. So really a pretty astounding statistic. One of the things that we really try to do at UTI is we try to make resources available to students to help them to reach their goals, to reach their dreams. We work with youth groups like FFA, Skills USA, Hot Rodders of Tomorrow, Top Tech Challenge. We host all those things. And then we work with programs like Imagine America Foundation, who's just amazing to work with and helps to make these webinars possible. But the scholarships that are available there helps students to realize their dreams. And then industry. I saved that for last because that's talking about our new alliance with AGCO that I'm really proud of and excited about. You know, next week we're going to have quite a presence at FFA. But these kind of companies, they need technicians. And so they're willing to partner with schools like UTI to make this happen, to get these kind of technicians. I mean, it's scary to think that the average age of a lot of these technicians is late 50s. I mean, they're going to retire. Who's going to take their place? And you know, we're going to have these people. You know, we don't think about a plumber till the toilet doesn't flush. Then all of a sudden it became important. And so that's why we have to have continued push of getting young people into these skilled trades and making it possible and affordable for them. We offer over $15 million in scholarships, but I have an open challenge for anybody on this to please email me any ideas on how to get students to fill out scholarships. I know you struggle with it too. They'll tell you, oh yeah, I'll fill out this. I'm going to fill these out. I'm going to fill those out. I'm going to do 3 a week and all this, and they never get it done. But what we found is we've started a TRIP program. It's called Tuition Reimbursement Incentive Program. We have hundreds of dealerships across the country that participate with us. And what they do, they're kind of following the model the medical field used or is still using, where they would offer sign-on bonuses. They would offer tenure bonuses, all these things to get students interested, because everybody's needing technicians. And so they're competing for the same kids oftentimes. So they've got to make themselves stand out. So these trip packages, they can be anywhere from $10,000 up to $35,000, $40,000. It's amazing what they're offering out there. And what do they offer? Student loan repayment assistance. You know, they'll give the student an extra $200, $300, $400 on top of their salary to make that student loan payment. Hiring incentive packages, sign-on bonuses, tenure bonuses. If they'll stay that dealership for 3 or 4 years, then they'll give them an additional, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, to reward them for staying. Tool purchase assistance, because tools are expensive, and so they help them to buy their tools so they can get started into their career. So these have proven to be very beneficial. But I will tell you this: they're a catch, and we emphasize this to our students all the time. You got to be worthy of these. These dealerships aren't just going to pass these out to just anybody. But if you've shown good professionalism, good attendance, you've made good grades, you've worked hard, you have a great work ethic, then those things play into this. Of course, the dealerships are going to want you. But if you skip class all the time, why would they want you? Because if you're going to skip class, you're probably going to skip work, and they don't want those kind of technicians. So anyway, it's a great program to help students to make their education more affordable. 2 key takeaways today. First one, high school counselors and educators can strengthen all post-secondary education pathways, including certificate programs. What do I mean by that? This is no longer plan B. This is no longer, you probably need to go to college to become a doctor, but if it didn't work out, you could always go work on cars. Well, you could always go be a plumber. You could always go be a carpenter, like that. It's like it's the backup plan, plan B. Or we have a student, in school, and they're kind of lost, really want to know that. Well, I really don't know if college is right for you. So why don't you go down to the Career Center? Maybe they've got something for you down there. Yeah, it's not like that any longer. These technicians that work on cars and trucks, motorcycles, boats, these people, they're highly skilled. They're not just going in there and just kind of tinkering around. They know what they're doing. They've been highly trained, and they're paid very well for those skills. So we need to treat them equally. If you're still calling your fairs college fairs, you're missing the boat, right? Instead of a college fair, call it a career fair. That includes all your students. When you say college fair, they think Florida, Florida State, Miami University. That's what they're thinking of. They're not thinking about a trade school, some type of school like that, a cosmetology school. They're not thinking about that, and so they feel left out. We have to remember that all students have career pathways. They may not be like ours were, but we need to support that. And that's where we as educators need to do a better job of supporting all of our students. And then number 2, higher education leaders are instrumental in enabling students to acquire education beyond high school. I can't emphasize enough that training after school, after high school, is important. Yes, you will have students that will go right into the workforce. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Mentor programs, those kind of programs are good. But remember, it's only as good as the mentor. If you have a poor mentor, you're not going to learn much. But with getting some type of training after high school, that's huge. And plus the other thing, you bring those skills to that employer, suddenly you're more marketable because you have a distinct set of skills that they're looking for. They don't have to spend time and money training you up because you've already received it. Our students that go through our OEM programs, they're walking out with up to 80% of their credentials when they walk into that dealership. That's huge to that employer. That's going to save them time and money, to get that person up to speed working in that dealership and making the dealership money. So those are 2 very important takeaways. And finally, I'll close with the simple fact that I'm a retired educator. I know what you do every day. I know. I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. I know what your school days are like. I can't imagine what you went through with COVID. Fortunately, I never had to go through anything like that in my career, but you did, and survived and coming out of it now. But we know what you do with students. We know that you're giving them great advice on scholarships, on the economy, on career pathways and career readiness. What do we want to do? We want to partner with you. We want to back you up on all those things. We offer a wide variety of ways to do those. We love to host students and their parents and educators from the school at our open houses. Paul Hathaway, who's the regional missions director in Orlando, wanted me to mention that on November 13th, there will be an open house at the campus. And our open houses, we always have some food, we always have some activities going on, things, but it's for educators, parents, students, anybody that wants to come and see what UTI is all about. And then they're going to be hosting an Ignite event in February the 9th. I know that's a little ways off, but put that on your calendar because that will definitely be an event that you want to go see. But we can also bring this to you. You know, we have a truck and trailer that we bring out with STEM activities to do at your school. We do workshops in career pathways, career readiness, STEM. We do all these. And we want it for all of your students, not just for the ones that you think are, going to go to work on cars or trucks. All your students can benefit from these workshops. And they're free. That's the best part about it. We talk about the 8 major STEM fields that I just described to you earlier. We talk about scholarship opportunities. We spend time talking about the economy and what students are going to need to live on, what the economy demands are right now. I also offer professional development. So if you're looking for professional development of some type, please reach out to me. It's free. UTI pays all my expenses for that. And we would definitely love to work with your school district if we can in some way. So this is my contact information, my email address. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with me, and I wish you luck for the rest of your school year. Thank you.
All right, we are now going to open this up for the Q&A portion of our presentation. I'm also going to throw up a poll question. If you'd like somebody to reach out to you about presenting maybe to your classrooms of students on similar topics to STEM careers and women in STEM careers, please indicate so on the poll so that we know who to reach out to. Now, Dr. Quill, it does look like we have a question that came in. This person wants to know about the FAFSA. Now, is UTI Title IV eligible, and can students apply for federal financial aid in order to attend the school?
Yes, and I always forget to mention that in the presentation, but great question. Thanks for asking that. Yes, we are Title IV funded, so therefore you fill out the FAFSA to see if you qualify for financial aid, and then we have a great financial aid team that will work with you on what grants you might be eligible for, scholarships, and of course, if you're eligible for the Pell Grant, all those kind of things too. So yes, definitely we are.
Yeah, and I would also just tack on to that Universal Technical Institute does participate in our Imagine America scholarship program, so your students can apply for our scholarship of $1,000 to go to the school too. So keeping on theme with affordability, this person wants to know about cost comparisons with community colleges. Can you kind of talk about the cost comparison, length of program? How does UTI compare to the local community college, if you will?
Okay. Yeah, we get that question every time, and it's a great question. It's a fair question. Is that we tend to look at things from the surface and say, "Oh, wow, that school is a lot more expensive than that one." What you really have to look at is what are you getting, the ROI, and that's what's important. So there's 3 factors here. Number 1, the length of time you're going to be in school. You're going to be at the community college 2 to 3 years. That's just it. UTI, you're going to be there 9 to 17 months. So less than a year and a half. So that's important to think about. You're going to be out at age 19 working while you're still in school at a community college. Number 2 is the alliances with the manufacturers. Now, there are community colleges that will have 1 or 2 alliances with manufacturers. They're out there, but we have 37. So you can pretty much find whatever major brand that you want to go to work for, and we can help you there. And having that added training makes you much more marketable, and you can command a higher salary. And then number 3, what I just talked about, the tuition reimbursement package that we offer. That's huge. Students don't like to fill out scholarships and things, but they do love to work towards something, feel like that they're putting in time and effort and they're going to get paid at the end. And so that trip package is also very important to make school more affordable for UTI.
All right, awesome. Now, just a few house cleaning items here. I just want to mention that this session has been recorded, and we will be sending out the recording to each of you as well. When I send out the recording in the email, likely tomorrow, I will also include Dr. Coyle's contact information. So if you want to talk to Dr. Coyle or talk to him about coming to your school and presenting to students, you can reach out to him right there off the email. I'll also be placing this session on our website, which again is www.imagine-america.org. There is a quick follow-up survey. If you wouldn't mind giving us some feedback, that would be really helpful. It's only like 3 or 4 questions, I think. And before closing, I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking out time of your day to join us today. And I also want to thank Dr. Coyle for sharing with us today's presentation, and encourage each of you to contact him directly with any future questions you may have. But on behalf of the foundation, Dr. Coyle and myself, I want to thank you and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.